Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever the case may be. Welcome to a big Sunday for Alabama football in terms of recruiting. If you're following the news, you probably already know Alabama has officially landed five-star offensive lineman Ty Haywood out of Denton, Texas. Fresh off the heels of Caleb Cunningham, DeBoer and company have gone to work in the state of Texas, and they've brought one of the premier players out of the state into Tuscaloosa. Now I'll tell you, I don't think this is going to be it moving forward. Everybody's watching AK Deer. We feel like that's going to be coming any moment. But this is huge, and it's huge for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Ty Haywood. This is from Max Preps. Keep in mind that there may be some ads pop up here. Also, before we get started, my shirt. This is an impromptu show, so with the green screen and everything, we got the whole see-through stuff going on in the shirt, but that's okay because it's a good day. It's a good day to be a Tide. DeBoer and Company, or as I like to call them, Seattle Saban. Shout out to everybody on Twitter that came up with that name. It's fantastic. But they're getting a massive, I believe he's 6'5", 285 player for an offensive line that's being rebuilt and restructured. I like to call it the Great Wall of Tuscaloosa. If you've seen what Alabama has done in the trenches offensively this offseason, it's nuts. I mean, it is insanely nuts. And Ty Haywood is just going to add to that momentum for what Alabama's trying to build offensively and what they're going to field in the next year. I mean, it's going to start this season. It's going to start the next year. But Haywood himself, he's a long, rangy lineman. He is very strong, obviously. Quick. He's got very good hand placement. He's really good at leverage, extension and leverage. Hips are good. He's gotten better and better over his high school career. You can see there clearing out that edge. Just look at that. Just drive the guy 10 yards downfield. Freaking absolutely bonkers and insane. But not only does Ty Haywood commit on the heels of a Caleb Cunningham commit, 2 5 stars in 2 days, but something's changed that we have to talk about. This is from On3, and as you can see, Alabama now has the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the country, edging out Ohio State just by a margin of a point there. But there's more coming. Luke Mint on Instagram posted just a little while ago that there are more coming, and we all know there's one coming. AK Deer. I think there's still a couple of surprises on the way for Alabama's recruiting class. I think in terms of offensive linemen, maybe another wide receiver down the road, looking at a potential Derek Meadows or a Khalif Lockett. But I think there may be a defensive surprise here or there before it's all said and done. We'll see. We'll see how things work out. But this get here, Ty Haywood, man, it's nuts. It's incredibly humbling and just amazing to watch what DeBoer has done. And it started with the staff that he built. Everybody was concerned about these coaches and, with, the portal transfers and this and that when he got to Tuscaloosa. Really what he did was he went to work putting together an amazing staff. And that staff has really paid off so far. We'll see what happens because all of these guys have yet to sign national letters of intent. They can all still commit somewhere else. So we'll see what happens over the course of the next few months leading up to National Signing Day in December. But, man, I do think Alabama still has a few more surprises in its pocket. And, I mean, you can't beat number 1, can you? I mean, is there anything sweeter than being 1? And Alabama now has the number 1 recruiting class in the country. Now, look, they may not finish there. Ohio State is right on their heels. Georgia is got a couple of guys that are going to commit before it's said and done. So Bama still got some work to do if they want to hold on to that number 1. But as we've been telling you guys for months, if Alabama can finish in the top 5, that's an incredibly impressive feat for a brand new staff replacing somebody like Nick Saban. And I know what you're hearing on Twitter from the Barners and the LSU fans and the Tennessee fans. Well, they still got Nick Saban. Nick Saban has been at the ESPYs. Nick Saban has been on a boat. Nick Saban's not recruiting these guys. Kalen DeBoer's been pretty loud. Hey, look, he's taking a step back and let me do my thing. Let me make it my own. Saban's not as involved in recruiting as opposing fan bases would have you believe. But if you're just joining us, Alabama lands a big one. and 5-star offensive tackle Ty Haywood, 6'5", 285, out of Denton, Texas. Just a big. I mean, they beat out Oklahoma, Texas A&M, a couple other schools that Haywood was looking at visiting or had visited, and Bama lands him. We've known it for a while. We've had him officially predicted to Alabama for a while. It's never really swayed in terms of the confidence there, like it has with some guys like Derek Meadows and Khalil Lockett. But Bama just is on an absolute tear. And keep in mind, they still have one more weekend to recruit. They've got the cookout coming up in a couple of weeks, the last weekend of the month. And I mean, just some nutty things happening in Tuscaloosa right now. And I get it. I tell everybody all the time, they're like, how can Bama do this? How can they sustain without Nick Saban? If you look down in the corner of my screen, you'll see that A there. It's that A. That A. The brand is lethal, folks. It's lethal. It's been lethal. It's going to remain lethal. So until next time, we've got a really cool show coming up this week. Hope that you can join us for that. Got some special guests coming on soon. Cruz from Twitter, part of the Bama family there. We've also got Nick Kelly joining us soon. And then we got a really special show here that we're working on that should be uploaded in a couple of days. And it's going to be comparing what DeBoer and them are doing right now with Alabama's recruiting class to the 2017 class. And yes, that sounds crazy. That's the class with Tua, Jerry Jeudy, Mac Jones. But when you actually look at what Alabama is doing right now, there are some legitimately serious comparisons between the two. I mean, there are some, it's kind of wild. You're going to want to see that when it posts. But until then, like I said, Alabama gets them. They get their guy. They get 5-star offensive tackle Ty Haywood, and the tide is absolutely rolling. So as always, like, subscribe, share, do all the things. You guys know what to do. You know what we want you to do. We want to keep bringing you content. We want to keep doing these pop-ins. Recruiting is popping right now. So help us. Tell people about us. Send us to them. Copy the link. Send it to your grandma. But until next time, as always, say your prayers, wash your hands, read your Bibles, horns down, and roll Tide.